Hey y'all, welcome back to another NV Creations coin roll hunting video. This is episode 2 of my $5 in pennies hunt. I have to do these this way because the bank won't let me buy boxes of pennies anymore. In this video we're going to hunt through a quick 10 rolls, see what we can find, see how much copper we can find, any foreign coins, 2009s, low mintage coins like the 2025s, wheat pennies, steel pennies, Indian heads, flying eagles, stuff like that. It'd be nice to find some goodies in here, so we'll see what we can find. All the coins that I find in my hunts, I check for quality and price with the CoinSnap app. I put them on my website store at nvcreationsmontana.com if anybody wants to buy one. I use the lower price that it gives me, so you guys might still have a little wiggle room for making some money off of them. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you don't want your questions in the comments, you can email me at nvcreationsmontana@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video with your friends, all that good stuff. So stay tuned. Let's get started and we'll get into roll number 1. Alright, well here we have roll number 1. I'm going to apologize right now if the lighting is bad. My light quit working. So I need to get another one, and I'm waiting on it to show up in the mail. So we'll see what we can find. There are some older copper coins in here, so we should be able to find something good. Hopefully get us a wheat penny or something nice in there. There's a 2024. I used to keep those as low mintage, but they are definitely not a low minted coin. 2025s are going to be a low mint because they only minted them for a couple of months. Another 24. So far a bunch of 90s stuff, early 2000s. There's a 1981, so we'll at least get 1 point for a copper penny there. If you guys aren't familiar with my point system, I do 1 point for copper coins, 2 points for foreign coins, 3 points for 2009s, 5 points for low mintage coins, 10 for wheat pennies, 15 for steel pennies, 20 for Indian heads, and 30 for flying eagles. It'd be nice if we could ever find one of them, but we do find a wheat here and there. There's a 1975, so that'll give us another point on this roll. At least finding a little bit of copper. There's a 59. That's the last of, or the first of the clad or copper coins after the wheat penny. Kind of stumbling on my words there. There's an 82. We'll set that one aside and we'll weigh that to see if it's copper, which it looks like. But they could be clad. They split that year and did half copper and then half clad at the latter part of the year. There's a 64, so that'll be a copper penny. So we are finding a little bit of stuff, but not the greatest. But hey, would you look at there? We got a 2009, so that's going to be worth 3 points on our hunt. That's a nice little find there. I always enjoy finding the 2009s. That one looks like the third one in the series. I just drew a blank on the name of it. There's an 80 for another copper. There's a 2025, so we'll get 5 points on the low mintage coins there. I have found a few 2025s. Kind of nice to see them out there. Last year of them. Alright, well on that one, we found 5 copper pennies for 5 points. One 2025 low mint for 5 points. This 2009, which is going to give us 3 points. And then this 82, which I'll pull my scale out real quick. We'll give it away. If they're 3 ounces or more, or 3 grams or more, they're copper. If they're under 2.6, they are clad. That's going to be 3.2 for a copper, so that'll give us 6 points in copper, 5 points for the low mint, 3 points for the 2009, so that'll give us 14 points on roll number 1. Not a bad start to this hunt. We'll clean this up, move on to roll number 2. Alright, on to roll number 2 here. Not bad, getting a 14-point first roll. Be nice if there was some wheat in there, but let's see what we can find. This one's looking like a lot of newer coins, so hopefully something in there will jump out at us. We'll start off with a 1970, so there's a point for copper. $79, that'll be a copper. $93, pretty dirty one. $20.22, there's a 78, a 69, so we are finding some copper. There's a 78, not a bad little run there on copper. How about that, guys? We just found a wheat cent. This one's going to be a 1945. Have to look under the magnification. It looks like an S mint mark, but it might be just a Denver. That will go up on my website if anybody is looking for that one. You can check it out. 72. Another 72. This one's full of older copper. Nice to find. $24. There's an 81. That'll be a copper penny. Another 2009. That one's the first one in the series. I think that one is the early childhood. That'll be worth 3 points. Not bad finding a 2009 in the first 2 rolls each. Another 81. Alright, well that wasn't a bad roll at all. We got 10 points for copper, 10 points for the wheat penny, and 3 points for that 2009. So that's going to give us 23 points on roll number 2. This is turning out to be a pretty good hunt. So I'll get this cleaned up. We'll move on to roll number 3. Alright, on to roll number 3. We're 2 rolls in and we're sitting at 23 points total. Average of 18 points per roll. Not a bad average. The last hunt we were at 16 points per roll average. Fight this roll just a little bit. Throw them everywhere. Had to pick up a runaway there. 23. Not worth any points. Might as well just left it on the floor. There's a 66. That'll go in our copper pile. 74, there's another copper for us, and a 72. Kind of a run-on clad there. Pretty shiny one. What are we going to get? 2012. It's a nice looking 2012. There's a 66 Philly. 72. 80. A little bit of copper in here. It's a really nice looking 64. That might go in my book. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are able to buy boxes of pennies where you're at, or if they're, some places are out of pennies now, from what I heard, but we still have ours. Just some copper so far. 68. 67. Old but not too old. There's an 82 we'll throw on the scale. That one's looking almost like it could be a clad. So we'll pull out our scale, give it a quick weigh, see if it's 3 grams or more. 2.6, it's going to be a clad, so we'll throw that in the discard pile. Well, we didn't find anything fancy except for some copper here. We got 11 copper pennies for 11 points on roll number 3. We're still finding points, so get this cleaned up. We'll move on to roll number 4. Alright, well, let's dig into roll number 4. Hopefully we can find some more wheat pennies. Or some 2009s. Pretty good mix of color in here. Hopefully we can find something good. There's another 2025, good for a 5-point mark on our low mintage side of the hunt. Got some late 80s in there, nothing worth keeping. There's another 2025, so that'll give us 10 points. See how long I can keep this $5 in penny series going. Might have to jump around to some banks. There's another 1982, and I noticed right here we've got another wheat penny. Let's flip that over. It's going to be a 1934 Philly. That's a nice find there. Quick 10 points on that one. Don't find them 30s very often there. 74 for the copper pile. 79. Another 82 to weigh. So we got a couple of them to throw on the scale. See if we got any copper ones there. Some 2024s. There's an 81 for the copper pile. 77, that one's in really nice shape. Possible book upgrade. Some 2010s and 2008s, but no 2009s yet. 77. This roll's got a nice little variety of keepers in it. The last one is so dirty I can't tell what it is, but it's got the shield on the back, so it's not going to be copper, not worth keeping. So on roll number 4 we found our nice 1934. It's in really nice shape. Well, a little beat up, but not a bad one. We'll throw these 82s on the scale. Should probably quit putting this cover back on after each time. We found 2 2025s. That'll give us 10 points total. 5 copper pennies, so we'll see how these. That one's going to be a copper, so that'll be 6. That'll be a copper, so 7 points in copper. 10 points for low mintage 25s, 10 points for that wheat penny. So we're going to have 27 points on that roll. That is our highest scoring roll so far. Get this cleaned up, we'll move on to 5. Alright, well, let's dig into roll number 5 here. We're sitting at box total. I don't have a hunt total on here, but 18.2 points per roll, which is getting up pretty good. Haven't seen that high of a hunt in a while, so I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see if we can keep this streak going. Find some more goodies in here. This out of the corner of my eye. I think this one is called the Formative Years, but don't quote me on that one. Another 2009 Denver. It's worth 3 points. Nice little find there. There's an 81. It's kind of hard to see the date on it, but that'll go into our copper pile. $77 for the copper pile. $83, not good enough for copper, so that's clad 1. Run of 2023s right there. 82, we'll throw that one on the scale. It looks copper to me, but I've been known to be wrong from time to time, which is hard to say to people, but such is the life. There's a 64. 76. $75. There's a 25. That'll give us 5 points on the low mintage. Last one is 77. That looks like it's been cleaned and then dirtied up before. Interesting find. We'll throw this 82 on the scale real quick, see what it's got for us. Copper penny there. Not bad. So we got 5 points for our 2025, 3 points for our 2009. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 copper pennies. That's going to give us 18 points on roll number 5. pretty darn good, I'd say. So I'll get this cleaned up and we'll start on the second half of our hunt. Alright, on to roll number 6. We are sitting at an 18. Our points per roll went down a little bit there to 18.13% average. This is not a percent, it's point average, but still in that 18 points per roll era, so not too bad. 75. Nice to find another wheat penny in here. So 77 for the copper pile. Another 75. Kind of a lull here. Not getting very many points. A lot of 2010 decaded pennies. Early 2000s. An 82, we can throw that on the scale, see if it's copper or clad. It looks to me like it's going to be a clad one, but always like to double check just to make sure. Would that matter in the light? 83. Pretty low scoring roll here. Throw this one on the scale. It's going to be clad, so it's going in the junk pile. 3 points in copper is all we got on roll number 6. Not a good start to the second half of this hunt. Get this cleaned up, get them points on the board, and we'll move on to roll number 7. Alright, moving right along here. Roll number 7. That one, last roll, knocked our average down to 17.19 points per roll. We're still above the last hunt, but barely. There's an 81 for the copper pile. Again, I want to apologize for the lighting. I'd have to try to figure something else out. Pick up a selfie light or something at Walmart and see if that'll help. Pretty nice looking 79. Real decent shape. Throw that in the copper pile. There's a 1966 for the copper pile. That is one beat up 2001, I'll say. Almost couldn't see the date on it. The date's about the only thing you can read on there. A lot of newer stuff in this roll. Another 1959 for us. Throw that in the copper pile there. 68 Denver. Our last coin for this hunt is a 2017. Again, not a great hunt, but we're going to throw 6 points on the board for 6 copper pennies. Should have a couple more rolls to go, and we'll tally up and see what we have for episode 2 of $5 and Pennies Hunt. Alright, on to roll number 8. With the 6 points on that last roll, it put us up to 101 points on this hunt. We're at a 16.5 point per roll average, which is pretty low. There's a 69. I turned the flash on my phone, so hopefully that'll give us a little more light for the time being. There's an 81. Pull this one out of the side here. Look at there. King George, 1946 Canadian penny. That is the first George I found. I really like that. I'm going to hang on to that one, but that'll give us 2 points under the foreign category. That's pretty cool. Like I said, that's the first King George I found in the Canadians. Pretty excited. There's a 2025, so that'll give us a 5-point hit on our total. That is one nasty 2000 penny. People must be scraping them off the floors of bars or something now. Get rid of them, change them in. It's the only thing I could think of, or bottom of a cup holder in someone's van that they have a bunch of kids in to get all that nasty stuff in there. Here we've got a 1977. We'll throw that in the copper pile. 85s are clad. '71 Denver. That'll go into our copper pile. Alright, well, may not be the highest point hunt. We got 4 for copper, 2 for the Canadian, 5 for the 2025 low mintage, so that's going to be 11 points, but so far this has been my favorite roll of the hunt, finding that King George. That's just neat, finding that 1946 Canadian. That's just a cool penny to find. So I'll throw that 11 points up and we'll move on to roll 9. We've only got 2 rolls left in our hunt. Let's see if we can score something else real nice. Alright, roll number 9. 2 rolls left in this hunt. Kind of riding a little high, finding that King George penny. Probably should get more than 2 points for that on the hunt, but we're not going to do that. So let's see where this one's going to take us. We'll start out with a 1968 for the copper pile. Some newer stuff, but no 2025s in there. '71, that's got a San Francisco mint mark on it. I like to hang on to all of my S minted coins. Just kind of a fun little thing I do. Let me know if you guys do that. Get it up in the comments there. 69 Denver. 2024. There's a 76 for the copper pile. There's a 2009. This one's in pretty decent shape. That's going to be the presidency, the last in the series of 2009 pennies. We'll hang on to that one for a 3-point. There's a 1982. We'll throw on the scale when we're done here and see if it's copper clad. We're pulling a little bit of fun stuff out of this roll. '72 Denver. '78 Denver. And our last one is a 74 Denver. So we'll throw this 82 up on our scale real quick, see what it weighs in at. That's going to be a copper, so we will throw it in our copper pile. We did find that 2009 presidency for 3 points. And 9 copper pennies. So we will get 12 points on this roll. I'll get this cleaned up. We'll move on to that final roll and we'll see what this hunt has hidden in its wrappers for us. Well, here we are to our final roll of the hunt. Let's see if it doesn't have something great hidden in there for us to end this hunt on. Hopefully there's something good in here. Gotta weed through all the non-pointed coins to find, well, there's an 82 we can throw in our scale. There's a 72 for the copper pile. '71. '76. '62. There's a nice old one there. Nice if it was a little older, but we get what we get in coin roll hunting. There's another 82 we can throw on the scale. clad coins. There's a 2025. We'll throw that on there for 5 points. Alright. Let's check these 282s. We'll see what we got. Got a copper and a clad. One of each there. Alright, well, on our final roll, we got our 2025 Denver, which most of the coins in Montana here are Denver. And we got 5 copper for a total of 10 points on that final roll. I'll get this cleaned up. I'll get our find spread out and give us a recap on the hunt. Alright, well, here's the wrap up of our 10 roll episode 2 $5 and pennies hunt. In this hunt we had 70 copper pennies for a point each, 6 2025s at 5 points each. We got 4 2009s, 1 birth and early childhood, 2 professional life, and 1 presidency. Those are each 3 points. We got our nice 1945D wheat penny and a 1934P wheat penny. Those are 10 points each. And then my favorite coin of the hunt is this King George VI 1946 Canadian penny, but that's only worth 2 points. Our total for this hunt was 134 points, and we averaged 15.7 points per roll. Not too bad. I'd like to see a little better, but hey, it is what it is. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me that thumbs up, like it, subscribe, share it with your friends, let everybody know. If you guys are interested in any of these coins, I'll have them on my website at nvcreationsmontana.com. I've got a coin tab up top there. It goes to all the coins that I found on my hunts. I use that CoinSnap app if anybody's used it. Gives you a condition of the coin and a value. I use the lower value to put the coin on there. You guys can barter with me too if you want to send me an email at nvcreationsmontana@gmail.com. I'm always open up to that. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Sorry it's late. I had issues filming and the in-laws were in town, so we'll get this one out as soon as possible. And on that note, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.